hear the sweet melodic sound of the quintessential stud-muffin, Joey Durkin. At this time, it is your pleasure to hear me introduce the team that comes to you from the legendary fighting town of Dudleyville. At a combined weight of 608 pounds, they are led to the ring by their half-brother, Cy Guy Dudley. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight tag team champions of the world and the best tag team in wrestling today. Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boys.
World Tag Team Champions, the Dudleys. There are a couple of men coming to the ring right now who feel differently as to the best tag team in the world today is. They are the former ECW World Tag Team Champions, Saturn, Cronus, the Eliminators. And the Dudleys want no part of the Eliminators. Is Sign Guy crazy? Total elimination! The champions attack! Reverse DDT! Bubba Ray Dudley working over Cronus. Bubba Bomb! Diving headbutt! 1, 2. 2 count only.
Up, Josh Jacobson.
Irish whip. Tilt-to-whirl Bubba Slam. And a splash. Great double team wrestling by the champ. 2 and Cronus breaks it up and gets nailed for his efforts. Bubba Ray slapping Cronus. Vertical suplex with a high cross body, nicely executed to it. Saturn makes the save. Irish whip. Saturn ducks. Saturn salt. Double drop kick. Clothesline. Clothesline. Bubba Slam with authority. And that put a screeching halt to the momentum of the challengers. Irish whip. They were going for 3D, the deadly death drop, and Saturn broke it up. They were going for the coup de grace, they missed. Pair of spinning roundhouses. That's the do-si-do. Front kicks. Woo! Elbows, back fists. Pair of side kicks. There's that great martial arts backgrounds of the Eliminators. Pair of slams. of this tag team title matchup. The Dudleys trying to get it together. The champs are down. They're not safe out there. Saturn sold to the outside on the floor. What athleticism. Space flying Cronus drop. He weighs 265 pounds, and I defy you to show me another 265-pounder anywhere in the world competing in this great sport who can do that. Springboard spin kick by Saturn. Hurricane Cronus. And things are looking stormy for the champions right now. What power by Cronus. Bubba Ray weighs about 370, 375. Cronus drops an elbow. Excuse me. Saturn drops an elbow from the stratosphere. Irish whip. Yvonne ducks. Early frogs. Ridge hands to the front, ridge hands to the back. And a couple of dragon sweeps. Scooping a slam on Bubba Ray Dudley. Double jump springboard Saturn soul. Yvonne Dudley gets planted. Here is Cronus going all the way up top. The Eliminators are sending a message to every tag team out there. Here are roundhouses. Roundhouse sandwich. That'll collapse your chest cavity. And this may be the end. Total elimination. Cover.
Professor, today I wonder if you would agree with this as you listen to what Raven has to say and what he has said. There's a TV champ that just go in front of what he has said over the past month here in WCW. It seems as if he is blaming his past on the way he has turned out. And there's got to be a point in your life when you say, hey, forget my past. I'm responsible for my own actions, and he doesn't want to pull away from that, it seems to me.
Turn the corner. It's November 3rd, 1997.
Get over it,
Bring
right?
it up to today, exactly.
Well, that's just our opinion, and like Danae's opinion as well. But you can't deny what we have seen out of Raven in his Raven's Nest or his Raven's group certainly has made a profound impact on wrestling here in World Championship Wrestling. And here's the TV champ, Disco Inferno.
Well, it's also my opinion that the Disco Inferno is the most fortunate World's TV champion ever in the history of this organization. He won the title back on September the 22nd on Nitro, and since that time, he has yet to score a clean pinfall victory, yet he still retains the title.
Got some of the most nimble fingers in the business, too.
Now, fans, as Saturn will make his way here from the ringside seats to face the television champion, if you just joined us, we have really been glowing about what has gone down over the past week. And look at Disco Inferno wasting no time with Hogan and Sting finally signing the match. And that has become a reality. We are going to tell you fans in the DC area how you can get tickets to that in just a few moments. But we also heard, as you know, Eric Bischoff contacted us by telephone, and he talked about the NWO in its entirety coming back together at Nitro next week. And you know, they haven't been together over the past couple of weeks here on Nitro, but he said they would be here next week. They had something big to lay on us. What in the world could the NWO have in store for WCW as they are here in full force next week, Mike Tenay?
Well, Tony, we're just going to have to wait and see what it is that the NWO has planned for World Championship Wrestling. They've promised that major surprise as we see Saturn in his Nitro debut in the challenging role for this World's TV title matchup against Disco Inferno. Saturn has been very successful in the pro ranks as a tag team wrestler in other Eastern-based independent organizations. Can he succeed with the big boys as a single competitor? I guess we'll find out tonight against Disco Inferno. Varied background. Amateur wrestling star in the state of Massachusetts, on to a background in the martial arts, a second-degree black belt in both Kempo and Judo, and also he can go to the top rope with some high-risk moves. Saturn seems to really have it all together, and right now working on the arm of Disco Inferno. We see those submission moves applied by Saturn, and they remind me of an armbar and a guillotine choke that Larry Zbyszko applied back at Halloween Havoc.
Well, I don't see Six around here, do you?
No.
Kind of rearranged his head and shoulders a little bit. Maybe that's why Scott Hall ran away.
But we will see Scott Hall here tonight, we understand, as he will wrestle later on. And as Eric said, the big man's going to make his return next week. And that big man, of course, is Kevin Nash of the Outsiders of the Wolfpack. He hasn't been here in a while, and he'll come out as the NWO will be here in full strength. That will be in 1 week, fans, here live on Nitro. Let me say this, of all the wrestlers in Raven's group that have come to the ring, we saw this Saturday on WCW Saturday Night, and we're seeing it right here. Raven seems to take a special interest in Saturn as he comes right to ringside with him, Mike.
Yeah, what's the story with that? It's almost as if everybody else in the group, like Kidman and Stevie Richards and Sick Boy, they're almost secondary.
Well, you know, it seems to me like Raven may have more control over Saturn than the rest of them. He may feel closer, may have more trust in this guy. I tell you, I've been watching this guy's debut here, and he's been through a few very good submission holds. Hasn't held on to him long, almost let the Disco out of a couple to keep on hurting him. Here's another one.
Drop toe hold, rides right up with a double underhook taken from behind, and Disco, luckily, is close to the ropes.
Yeah, he's out of position right there, but almost double grapevine nose on. Look at Disco, he's wobbly.
Saturn has overwhelmed Disco Inferno here.
Keeps looking over at Raven like he's waiting for an instruction.
Waiting for approval, I guess.
Mind wave or something.
I tell you, there is no question that the leader is Raven. And this man, Saturn, is hammering Disco Inferno right here on Nitro Live.
Bouncing him around like a disco ball.
I mean, he's hammering him.
Total domination on the part of Saturn. That
Capital
snap
H.
suplex follows up again by working on the arm and the elbow. Drops down, extends, trying to hyperextend the elbow of Disco.
And the elbow, but he's also got that wrist lock position on. See how he keeps his hips off the mat? That's the maximum weight. I tell you, Saturn's no slouch on that mat, boys.
What we talked about, that amateur and submission wrestling background that he has.
Well, forget the amateurs, the submission background.
Oh, look at this now, driving the knee into the shoulder. You have to wonder how much more the TV champ can take here in this assault by Saturn. If I can use that term without the NWO getting mad. want to take anything away
Who
from
cares what they do?
Well, I mean, they're able to call here anytime, and we just put them on the air.
Yeah,
You
but they
never know.
paid for it.
You know, I would like to see Bischoff, if he's going to talk to us, to be a man enough to stand up here beside you and say what he has to say.
Well, why do you think they have to show up next week with a big surprise in full force? Because they don't have the guts to have a big surprise without every single member.
That's a great point. Once again, the focus of Saturn here has been the arm of Disco Inferno. And many times, Randy Anderson checking in, but to Disco Inferno's credit, he has not given up.
He didn't give up, and I tell you, every time Saturn brings those hips off the mat, all the weight goes on the shoulder and the elbows. Saturn knows how to use his weight to maximize the pressure.
Very sound game plan to this point employed by Saturn.
Fans, before we were interrupted by Bischoff, I was talking about Kurt Hennig and Ric Flair. You understand Mean Gene will be talking to Ric Flair, and he'll be showing you some of that footage here a little bit later on in this program. Saturn, good maneuver. He is back to the point of attack again. And once again, as we pointed out, as he goes back to the point of attack, he casts an eye over towards Raven, almost for his approval.
I tell you what I do is I put my pinky inside those legs and start yanking them out of the eyebrows and the ears. Oh, he stopped them there.
How about that? Great comeback
Yank
mounted here by Disco.
Yank those earrings out. That'll hurt him.
1, 2, and that's pretty good strategy, Larry, but the Disco Inferno not trying. As a matter of fact,
It looks like Saturn got to that left arm of his.
obviously Disco just trying to shut out the pain here and get back on the attack.
Trying to fight back with the right arm, the one good one.
Oh, Saturn kicked him in the back of the head. Oh boy, good maneuver, a German suplex, and down goes the Disco Inferno.
The released German in the back of Disco's head crashing against the mat. Saturn follows up.
You know, this is maybe not a fair comparison, but it almost looks like Raven and Saturn here. Reminds me of Ric Flair looking up at Arn Anderson, who was the workhorse and the henchman of the Horsemen.
Not a bad analogy there, and here's a double hook over the top of the suplex. Saturn's got him down. Looks like he's going to try to hook him here, guys.
More of the same.
As he pulled back, he got, it didn't take long. The Disco Inferno submitted. The Disco Inferno has submitted. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand new World Television Champion. It's Saturn.
He calls that move the Rings of Saturn, and it provides him with a submission victory and a World TV title reign, and look at that.
And they're celebrating. They threw this kid out again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Celebrating in there. Raven just shoots Stevie Richards out on his head. Boy, this is so bizarre. The action continues here in Sacramento. We're joined by the one and only Brain, Bobby Heenan. Welcome to the broadcast there, old Brain.
How you doing, Mr. Schiavone?
We're doing fine, thank you very much. We still have a lot more to go, including Sting and Scott Hall to collide for the World Heavyweight Championship. But before the next match gets underway, we want to give you some very important announcements. Coming up next Monday, Nitro will originate from the Core State Spectrum in Philadelphia. Tickets on sale at the Core State Center box office and Ticketmaster. In 2 weeks, we're going to be in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at the Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Tickets available for Monday, March 9th at the box office and Ticketmaster. But this Saturday, February 28th, tickets go on sale for Nitro in Louisville, Kentucky. The date will be Monday, March 23rd. This Saturday, tickets go on sale at the box office and Ticketmaster. And Jimmy Hart will be at Freedom Hall in the box office this Saturday at 10 a.m. when tickets go on sale. It'll be great, Iron Mike and Brain, to come to Louisville, Kentucky on March 23rd for Monday Nitro.
Can't wait.
Home of the Kentucky Derby.
Home, yes, absolutely, home of the Kentucky Derby.
You ever see all the nags in that town?
Saturn, I apologize to our great fans in Louisville for that. The Brain is off and running already.
And so is this man, Saturn. Does he look ready?
So, but, you know, you go back and we talked about the encore presentation of Super Brawl 8, and it was a memorable night on many levels and on many fronts, and especially the way the program opened. Now, later on tonight, we're going to see Booker T. As a matter of fact, he'll be coming up in our next matchup. If there's any man deserving of being called a champion in this sport. Obviously, we think about Sting, the world heavyweight champion, and his battles with the NWO, but if there's any man deserving of being called a champion, it is Booker T. We'll talk more about it when he comes out, because he had to go through not only Rick Martel, but a very tough man, this man in Saturn last night.
And he was successful on both counts, as Booker T is once again the world's TV champion. But what a showing it was by Saturn, even in defeat.
Well, you know, I've never really cared one way or the other for Booker T. I don't think he's the brightest guy around, but I will say this for him: I have new respect for the man. He proved to me that he can get out there, and he can wrestle, and he had to reach down. He did.
Cover by Saturn, and Yuji got out of that, and a little bit of respect for both men here. Both men are fine wrestlers. Saturn, obviously very bizarre. You can just look at him and tell that. The fact that he's a follower of Raven's flock, even adds him to be a little bit more bizarre as well.
Both of these men very adept at the submission style of wrestling. We expect them to use that ground attack. Lethal kicks by Yuji Nagata.
Rain, how about, I want to get your reaction to Hollywood Hogan and Bischoff storming out of the limousine. We expected when they arrived tonight they would be very angry, and they were. Made a challenge to the Macho Man for the cage match at Uncensored on March 15th. It was accepted. That's going to be a wild one. But the fact, it seemed to me that maybe there was somebody in that limousine. Did you notice that as well? Were you watching your monitor
Yes,
from the
I
private
was.
dressing room?
There was definitely somebody in there. You could see an image. You couldn't tell if it was a man or woman or if they were wearing a hat, but there was a body in there. You could see a shadow move. There's something going on, no doubt about that.
There's always something going on.
I'll tell you one thing, though, when I was watching that really made the hair on my neck stand up, watching Rick Steiner. I mean, he just went out there and he didn't see Vincent. He went out there and saw NWO.
Yeah, he was very emotional at the end of it. You could see in his face. It almost looked like he wanted to break down and cry, and one could really almost understand what Rick Steiner is going through. I mean, these two men, brothers, blood brothers, but were the greatest tag team in our sport, arguably the tag team of the 90s.
Well, Rick Steiner certainly came to the ring with purpose and just one thing on his mind: destroying the NWO. Vincent was just the first in line.
Well, it's like losing a loved one. You know, it's his family. It turned against him, and hard to swallow, I guess.
And I wonder, and fans, if you see the encore presentation, you can judge for yourself. I wonder when they got to Scott Steiner. I wonder when the deal was made. Had it been made a long time ago, when Scott was, you know, doing a lot of posing, worrying more about his biceps than maybe he was winning a tag team match. I wonder when they got to him. That's a question that'll be debated for months and years in this sport, as Saturn comes up with a forearm shot right between the eyes of Yuji Nagata. Nagata dropped toe hold, sending the man down. Nagata just shook that one off, guys, and keeps the man on the mat.
As expected, both men employing the ground attack, and right now Yuji Nagata in control, has Saturn neutralized. And try and make it to the safety of the ropes and get the break.
We talked about being very prolific in submission wrestling, and you're seeing a little bit of it right there.
He's a very dangerous man. Very dangerous man.
You can say that about both men.
But Saturn, he's got the flock with him. He's got the flock behind him. He's got Raven there. I mean, who knows what goes through their sick minds in an average day? How many butterflies you think are missing wings?
Lariat, and Saturn showing his power. That was not a running lariat, just from a standing position, but exploding with his legs to drive Yuji Nagata down. Nagata will hook a leg now. Nagata trying to take him off his feet.
Oh, my.
Dragon screw leg whip, take him down. How about that?
Like that knee turned around halfway.
And you can see that Saturn is experiencing a tremendous amount of pain. You see the knee brace on the other knee. Yuji Nagata just totally in control of this matchup with Saturn.
And speaking of submission wrestling, there you see Scott Dickinson checking in here with Saturn to see if, in fact, he would want to give. You know, we think of the knee, and we think of the announcement we made about Rick Martel last night and what happened to him during his match with Booker T.
Certainly was a prelude to the rest of the evening. What a physically demanding night for all the competitors involved, and we understand that Rick Martel suffered a torn medial collateral ligament, knee injury. Waiting to see exactly how long he's going to be sidelined. Now Saturn explodes and nails Nagata with a series of right hands.
Certainly what happened to Martel, combined with that historic matchup last night where a man had to wrestle twice to still brag as being world television champ.
I got something to top that.
Well, I can tell you, you can see the encore presentation starting tomorrow. And what is that, Brain?
Well, I've seen wrestlers wrestle twice on a card before, but I've never seen them wrestle a championship match back to back.
Never before, ever.
No, I've never seen it where a man had to wrestle back to back.
That's
Without
because
any rest period in
None, 'cause
between.
he was attacked. Saturn jumped right into the ring and nailed him.
You had never seen it before because it hadn't happened before. That's what we're trying to say. It was historic. But go ahead.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
So what were the points you were going to make here?
I just told you, it's historic. It's the first time I've ever seen a wrestler have to wrestle back-to-back two championship matches on the same card the same night. Now, what don't you understand about that?
And back to the attack once again is Saturn. Into the ropes. Yuji Nagata tried to toss him out. Saturn bridge suplex. Nicely done. 1, 2, no. Didn't get it.
Sonny Ono very happy on the outside there.
Very happy.
He's smiling.
Well, he always smiles. Probably got a deal in the works or something. Picked him up. Oh! It's a very physical confrontation we have going on here on WCW Monday Nitro. And don't forget,
Here comes the Nagata lock.
that's right, Sting still to come against Scott Hall. He went for the Nagata lock, but he was too close to the ropes. And notice how Saturn grabbed the ropes and made the momentum go right into him that time.
And it would certainly make sense. Yuji Nagata directing his entire focus in this matchup on the legs of Saturn.
Into the corner. Drop toe hold once again. He tries to hook him. He does. The rings of Saturn put on. He's got it hooked on Nagata, and it only takes a moment or two for Nagata to say yes. In the matchup, Saturn gets a big win here on Nitro. You know, if they've been following our television programs, we've been talking about this match for quite a while. It's been a few weeks in the making, almost a month in the making because of problems. But when the music hits, the fans will know. Listen up.
His opponent from Dawsonville, Georgia, weighing 285 pounds. Tonight, he tries to maintain his undefeated professional record. Here's Goldberg!
Only a few times during careers or during generations do men come along such as Goldberg. And the eruption is when the music hits. They know unmistakable that Goldberg is in the house. And here he comes, Mike Tenay, trying to keep that unblemished mark alive.
And Tony, if you look at it from the standpoint of tonight and tomorrow at Nitro, this is without a doubt the biggest two-day period in the 7-month career of Goldberg, because level of competition rises here in Spring Stampede against Saturn. 73-0 for Goldberg as he goes into this matchup, and tomorrow night at Nitro, he will challenge for the U.S. title.
A look at Saturn, and Saturn undaunted. Saturn not afraid at all of anyone, and he's going to try to get the offense going here early on here against Goldberg. Sending the man in. Tried a knee, but actually Goldberg blocked it. Oh!
He's ready. He's ready for this weekend and the beginning of the week.
Again sends him over the top with a form of the belly-to-belly suplex, and Goldberg, look at that takedown, Mike. We've seen that so many times. There's much more to Goldberg than high-impact wrestling. Look at this. Is Kidman trying to just get him out of the way?
Kidman trying to interfere, does interfere, and is deposited right on top of Saturn.
The fans are going ballistic.
Goldberg is ready, I'd say, wouldn't you?
He is absolutely, what is made, there are many things that's gone in to making Goldberg what he is in this short span in less than a year in WCW. One of the things, though, has been his intensity. You can see it, the fans can feel it, they draw to it. The way he performs in the ring, and now Saturn got him from behind. Oh! A leg trip, not bad strategy at all here, guys.
Excellent leg sweep, took Goldberg down, springs off the middle rope with the leg drop.
And what a feather in the cap it'd be for the flock if one of their members would defeat this man, Goldberg.
Oh, what it would be for any athlete.
Right.
Here's a one count only, and Goldberg quickly got out. You know, that's become, obviously becoming world champ is the #1 goal for all athletes. But you talk to some of the athletes, they all say, hey, I want to be the man to first defeat Goldberg. While saying it and doing it are two different things. Into the other corner now. Here, elbow. Nice move, follow-up move that time by Saturn.
But you got to say this, Saturn's taking the fight to him. He hasn't backed up one time, not one bit. He's out to beat Goldberg.
We knew this would happen.
What a reversal of what appeared to be a vertical suplex takeover by Saturn.
Oh, you can just know what's running through his mind right now.
Goldberg once again, an incredible display of power. From a gorilla press slam to a drop slam. That was awesome.
Drove him down to the mat with all of his weight right on top of Saturn. Again, Kidman looks like he wants to interfere.
Kidman needs to just get away from there if he has any regard for his own health. Saturn moving very slowly now, or maybe not. He lured him into the ropes that time. Saturn had some game plan, and that was pretty good maneuvering. He got him to the ropes, now gets the advantage from the outside in with a body splash over the top rope. Saturn has been very, very successful. More successful, I would dare say, than most anyone.
Whoa!
That's faced Goldberg since his insurgence into WCW. Look at that standing sidekick. It caught him in the jaw, but it didn't knock him down.
Gentlemen, something to keep in mind. In the 73-match winning streak of Goldberg, most of the matches have been over within a minute or two. I believe this is about the longest that he's been tested in this matchup against Saturn. And another thing to keep in mind, we're here in Denver, Colorado, the mile-high altitude. How's that going to play into this matchup?
Saturn knows what he's doing. Saturn's got a game plan. He's working on the arms. You take those big arms out. Look at this.
Head scissor takeover and a great move by Saturn. And I tell you, I want to touch on that point you talked about, Mike. You're exactly right. The Mile High City, noted for the thin air. And of course, as you know, they talk so much about how the baseball travels over at Coors Field because of the thin air and how the athletes have to really, it's an entirely, he tried a back elbow that time, but actually missed. Or did he?
Goldberg's hurt.
Goldberg is hurt. Or maybe it's just the thin air. It takes a lot more out of you.
Now, this guy played pro ball. He was a football player. He's used to training and conditioning. Tell you what it is, when Saturn put his arm there in the post and then ran the steps into it.
You know, we've seen Saturn rely on a ground game prior to this. Quick cover by Saturn, barely gets a 1 count. He's pulling out all the stops tonight using high-risk moves and, well, the vaunted ground game, as we see, as he drops down and extends the arm with the arm bar.
Well, that's a good move. You want to keep him off his feet. You want to keep him grounded. He can't hurt you that much punching you on his back. But standing toe-to-toe with this man Goldberg, I don't know if I'd want to do that.
It's our third time within the last couple of years here at the Denver Coliseum with a couple of Nitros and now Spring Stampede, and we certainly always enjoy being in this facility and in this great sports city. Over the top, Saturn again has come to fight and has been very successful. Focusing on the armor, crossed arm breaker that time, but notice how Goldberg realized this is a submission hold. He's trying to get out of it, and he almost has a penny predicament here. He just stomps on the shoulder of Saturn to get out of it.
Well, the secret of that was him getting to his feet.
To hold again, he's keeping Goldberg off his feet.
You're right. This is the longest I've seen Goldberg wrestle anytime.
Into a front chancery. Goldberg picks him up. Incredible display of power once again. Sending Saturn back. Drives the shoulders into the midsection of Saturn. There has been friction. There has been some animosity, tension between these two men over the past few weeks that we've seen. Here's a pickup.
He's still favoring that left shoulder, though.
There's also been friction within the flock, especially as it relates to Saturn and Hammer.
Into the ropes goes Goldberg, drop kick, and that actually didn't catch him, I don't think, where Saturn wanted him to. It caught him right in the rib cage. I thought maybe he wanted to try the upper body or the shoulder again. But Goldberg holds his ground. Turns and kicks. How about that one?
Goldberg is coming to life.
How do you defend a move like that?
Leave.
That's exactly what you do.
Head for the mountains.
A short lariat or clothesline didn't catch him around the jaw. It caught him in the chest. Goldberg, here he goes.
Spear.
Things don't look good for Saturn or the flock or anybody. It's about to happen now.
He has rebounded with the spear, and Goldberg now, once again,
Here comes.
Kidman, oh my goodness. Kidman got the attention of Nick Patrick, and Saturn blocked the attempt of the jackhammer with a low blow that time, guys.
Well, like it or not, that's the first time we've seen the jackhammer blocked. Legal or illegal, the move from Saturn.
Saturn climbing the middle rope.
Where's he going to put him?
I don't think he's going to put him anywhere. I think Goldberg's trying to block this. He's blocked it.
Full slam off the middle rope, and here come the other members of the flock. They're circling ringside.
They're trying to get in, and Goldberg keeping them at bay.
Look at the head on that.
He sends Reese down. And now Kidman goes down. I would think they were trying to get him out of the ring. They were trying to get Saturn out. And Goldberg's attacking Kidman. The match continues.
Well, Goldberg has had the fight of his life tonight.
He's trying. The rings of Saturn. He's trying to get him.
He's got him. 73 winning streak is over, I think, right here.
It may be.
He's going to tap out. No one's ever gotten out of this that I know of.
He tried to fight it off the fence behind him. Goldberg is muscling out.
Look at
of
this.
the rings of Saturn. Look at this.
No one has broken the rings of Saturn.
No one.
Until
Now.
He's got him out. He's gonna put him in a jackhammer.
Yes. 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 74. Monday night. I can't wait.
It was brute power. It was nothing but strength that won that match.
You're right, 100%.
Raven and Saturn make their way with the Riot Squad to the ring. Of course, personal problems that were patched up. They are friends again, and they are out with a lot of protection here, Mike, today.
well, it appears that Raven and Saturn are both back on the same page, conspicuous by their absence. No flock members at ringside. They were fired by Raven last week.
Yeah, even though they were fired, these guys are still around, believe you me, and I really believe that was just Raven letting off some steam, and the flock may still be firmly together, but the opponents here for Raven and Saturn going to be the former World Tag Team Champions in a fine duo. You hear them in their music on the way in. Here they come to the table. Johnny Grudge, Rocco Rock. It's time for Public Enemy making their way to the ring. Want to remind the fans, next Monday we're going to be at the Palace of Auburn Hills, right outside of Metropolitan Detroit. And that'll be next Monday, June 8th for WCW Monday Nitro. Tickets available at the box office and Ticketmaster on Monday, June 22nd. Nitro rolls into Jacksonville, Florida at the Jacksonville Coliseum. Tickets to the box office and Ticketmaster there. And then Nitro is going to return to the Ice Palace in Tampa Monday, June 29th. Tickets available at the Ice Palace box office and all Ticketmaster locations. That's a look at where Nitro's coming your way in this month. Fans in Nassau, the Nassau Coliseum, don't forget the big date is June 15th for you in Uniondale, New York, as Nitro invades the Big Apple. All right, I would think here, guys, in this matchup, very similar styles in that all four men can brawl. All four men love to use tables, chairs, whatever it takes. And I think all four men are impervious to pain in many ways as well.
We'll talk about 4 peas in a pod. You got them right here. Raven, Saturn, Public Enemy. All what you said, Tony. Brutal guys, love to fight, but they're not dumb. These guys know what they're doing. And Saturn, he's a tough mat technician. He can hook you if he gets you down. This is going to be something.
Well, I suggest that we just turn these 4 guys loose. Is this being fought under Raven's rules, by the way?
One would think anytime Raven steps in the ring, singles or tag, it would be.
It would seem to be a natural for these 4, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it fits right into all of them.
It certainly does. And as great as the action has been, and as great as it's going to be during the course of the night, it seems the decision by Sting it just weighs over this arena and weighs over our sport like a very dark, heavy cloud. And we only are just kind of waiting to see what will happen. We do not know if Sting is here. We have not seen Sting, of course. We never see Sting. He just arrives really unannounced on his own. So we'll just have to wait and see with the rest of you during the course of this 3-hour program about what decision he will make. Where will he go? Right now, Saturn is showing Johnny Grudge what he's made of in the corner here. And a pickup and a snap suplex to take him over.
It's going to be interesting to see how Saturn and Raven act as a tag team, so far at least in the early going. The quick tags. And he turns it back over to Saturn.
Looks like Raven still dishing out the orders. It doesn't look like Saturn likes it, does it?
He's got his hands on his hips. Whoop.
Turned around and Johnny Grunge gets a quick start on this one, sending Saturn in. Great elbow. And that took him hard off his feet down to the mat.
Hey, Grunge has a lot of weight, knows how to use it. Plants himself, gets good center of gravity, and Grunge becomes an immovable object.
The double team by Public Enemy, double back elbow, and a double elbow drop. Super teamwork employed here by Public Enemy. And Rocco Rock getting ready to haul off, but he got a gut shot, and that does not stop him. Just show you what type of athlete this Rocco Rock is and how tough he is. Saturn hitting with 2 very good gut shots, didn't phase him at all.
Well, he's used to taking a punch, former Gold Gloves boxer.
Here's a head of steam now, a leg drop, nicely done by Johnny Grunge. So far, the smooth teamwork and tagging back and forth, of course. Public Enemy got a 2 count.
Yeah, Public Enemy making it look easy. Good ring positioning. Look at Grunge right here. Well, he's going to pull him back. Took too long. Again, Saturn, tough man.
Sometimes the only really detriment to Public Enemy sometimes is the way they pace their matches. They love really to slow it down, to brawl. A lot of times they will not be worried about comebacks from their opponents, and they'll do things on their own time. And that time, it backfired on them, although they're back into it once again here.
I think what you're saying is that sometimes they're not worried too much about the defense, the counter moves, but they're not afraid to turn it loose on the offensive end.
Well, certainly they, and Raven just that scornful look of his on the inside now, pickup.
Now what he said was they slowed down their offense. They shouldn't do that.
Anybody else like to explain to the fans what I just said?
Ask Bob.
Here's a cover, 1, 2, got a 2 count. And kicking out of it here is Saturn. Well, it's been all Public Enemy against Saturn. We've not seen Raven really get involved in this thing at all here.
Well, Raven's kind of sitting back, and Saturn's taking a lot of punishment here. Look at it again. Ring positioning, quick tags, and Grunge is up.
Well, this could be it. And once again, very slow to get over, make a cover, but Grunge will make a cover, and Saturn escapes that one as well.
Yeah, and you can't point fingers at Raven because Saturn's the one that's got to go over and make the tag.
That's exactly right, Larry.
Raven's actually being smart and in control. He's not coming in, which takes the referee out of position. So Raven, he's sitting back and waiting. Saturn's got to get over to him.
A reversal into the ropes, ducking low is Rocco Rock using the middle rope springboard. He landed on his feet. He's back up, but he's wobbly, and Saturn takes advantage of that.
Yeah,
Johnny Grunge gets decked.
Caught him sleeping, but again, that was Saturn's chance to tag Raven. He's not tagging.
Not at all. He's going to get a golden opportunity right here because Raven is standing right there. Did Raven tag himself in or not? I believe he did, and I believe Nick Patrick saw it.
Yeah, Raven reached across, I think tagged him on this.
Oh, goodness.
He nailed him in the head.
It was that back kick low blow from Saturn that doubled up Rocco Rock and left Saturn's head open. Saturn doesn't realize it, but I really don't think Raven meant to hit him at all. Here he comes. Teamwork now by Saturn and Raven. Oh boy, they both go down.
This is not the place to argue amongst yourselves.
Not against Public Enemy, it's not.
Yeah, but look how quickly they regrouped and got it back together. Oh, that time on the receiving end.
Over the top, and a great move that time by Rocco, sending both men down. So Public Enemy taking advantage of this right here. On the outside, it's so dangerous. When you're on the outside, and Public Enemy's your opponent.
Well, it's amazing the price tag you pay for one little moment of indecision.
Swinging neck breaker by Johnny Grunge for the far side. Up on top. Double team. That's their move.
They call that the drive-by with an assist from Johnny Grunge. Flyboy Rocco Rock crashing down onto the chest of Saturn.
Uh-oh, they're on the table here.
They are, but Raven is.
Up on top, and oh my goodness! The table landing on top of Raven, and the table did not even break that time. They're not finished with Raven yet. Now on the inside. head first to the top turnbuckle.
And look at Saturn, he's wobbling!
Oh, he'll do it again, and that time he caught him. You talking about high-impact action that we have here tonight in the midst of the biggest decision in Sting's career. These four men are giving it their all. Pick up.
Oh, he ducked runs!
That's a big man to take over in that Death Valley driver.
It's going to be Raven to make a cover. And there's your 3 count.
Raven was the legal man!
Or was he a glory hog? He rolled back in the ring and got the... I guess he was the legal man. Look at the referee, Nick Patrick.
I think it's a mark of a great tag team.
Right place, right time!
Right place, right time is it. Not so sure that Saturn really agrees with that, but Raven and Saturn will get the win.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the one-fall contest that will be fought under Raven's rules. The special stipulations for this match are as follows. If Saturn wins, Raven must set the flock free. And if Raven wins, Saturn must be subservient to Raven for the rest of his wrestling career. And ladies and gentlemen, as a just added stipulation, Kenyon will be handcuffed to ringside. Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by Lodi and Kenyon, from the Bowery, weighing 239 pounds, Raven!
I tell you, that's a great stipulation that we were unaware of, and I think based on what has gone down here tonight, I think J.J. Dillon with security in tow has started a little bit of martial law going on here. He's calling the shots, not a big mouth like him.
I am not an animal! I am not the elephant man! No! No way! I'm not
Hook him up. Shut him up, then hook him up.
And that's a great call by Dillon and the executive committee, especially when you take into consideration Canyon's recent association with Raven.
He's hooked. Bad boy, he's hooked.
All right, there's the key to the handcuffs, and it'll be the property of referee Mickey J here. So now, that keeps it at bay, and I think some very good points made. Very good points made by Saturn that we're going to touch on here in just a minute. When he talked about now wrestling for himself. With that in mind, are we going to go back to David Penzer, or does Raven want to say something right now? He's, well, it's time for Saturn. David Penzer, it's all yours.
His opponent is from Boston, Massachusetts, weighing 234 pounds,
Saturn's statements right at the end, he said, this is no longer for the flock, this one is for me. And one of the great things about what's going on here right now is the fact that this match ends this horrible servitude that he had to Lodi. The last time we saw was taking a dunk in a river somewhere in Kentucky.
Taking a what?
A dunk. D-U-N-K.
Dunk. I'll tell you something about Saturn. This man is an animal. This man is a mad dog. He does everything but fraud. He took care of the flock. He broke thumbs. He broke fingers. Reminds me of Mad Dog Vachon. This man is a mad dog. And I'd like to apologize. My arithmetic was a little sloppy. I said 5 out of the 9 were world champions, and naturally was brought to my attention by Mr. Mike Tenay, and a fine of $50 for being wrong.
Saturn, you've been an embarrassment for far too long. And tonight begins the beginning of your permanent indentured servitude. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
He very well could be right, and I'm sure he had some sort of a plan involving Canyon, but thank goodness for the handcuffs.
This is all about honor, and you have none.
Well, not many men have it compared to what...
It doesn't matter tonight if I win or lose, because I know I'll still keep my integrity.
How about that? That says a lot, and look at Raven's reaction. I think what he said there to Raven, regardless of where I got to go, I'm always going to be my man.
Well, he's proven that to us over the course of the past few weeks, but in terms of his long-term career, a victory for Saturn, well, he needs it in the worst way, and he's right. This stipulation all started with freedom for the flock. But if Saturn's career, which has really progressed ever since he separated himself from Raven and company, is to continue, he's going to need him out a comeback in the early going.
You say what you want about Saturn's mind and his mannerisms and the way he lives, and from the Bowery and the mind control he has over people. The man's a good, decent wrestler if he wanted to be.
I think he's a good wrestler,
Very
but
talented.
I don't think he can use the word decent in any way when it relates to
Saturn. I mean, Raven.
To Raven. I don't think he can use that word decent. Call him a good wrestler, call him a great wrestler.
Not
But
decent.
nothing decent about him at all.
You're right, Tony.
Thank you, Brian. Up and a big knee left. And it rocks Saturn up against the bottom rope on the left side of ring number 2 here. Later on, that cage will drop and we get ever closer to it. Remember, one man who gets a pinfall or gets a submission, and if he does it even before all 9 men get in, will win War Games tonight. Who will it be? As the countdown continues and we draw closer to the big moment. This is a big moment in itself, too. And look at Saturn go. Lit a fire under him that had been lit for actually 3 weeks here or so going into this event. Got a 2 count. Saturn back to the attack once again. You talked about it, Brain. You called him a mad dog, and it reminded you of a Sean. I don't think there's any question, but there's something. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Even though he can be a wild man, there's something very polished about the way he performs in the ring.
That's what makes him more dangerous than anybody, because a man that's constantly a mad dog, constantly an animal, you can control an animal. A person using their brains can always control an animal.
Oh! Covered him 1, 2, and he could not hold it down. Nope, did not.
And he's so tough to prepare for because he can adapt to so many different styles of offense. We've already seen in this match that incredible high-risk move off the top, but Raven stopped him in his tracks. You talk about a legend and how he reminds you of Mad Dog Vachon. Throw in one more. Saturn trained for the ring by the legendary Killer Kowalski.
How about that? Watch out, trying to suplex him outside. Saturn wide vertical base, held his ground on that one, held the ropes as well, and he sticks in. And Raven shot right through the air on that last one and hit jaw first on the top of the safety rail. Watch out! He got both men down. How about that suicide dive?
Yeah, that was a super suicide dive because he went over the top rope that time rather than between the top and middle.
Is he going after Saturn here?
On the inside now, rolls him in. Have you ever seen a suicide dive from Saturn?
Look at Lodi here.
It's just part of his offense in which he can beat you through those type moves, submission wrestling or brawling, but that time Lodi evened the score with his interference.
Don't forget, he's still got 2 broken fingers. I'd be going after them.
You see Lodi frantically trying to get Raven over here. Feel that he has an advantage here.
Now remember, this match is being fought under Raven's rules, so that interference by Lodi is legal.
Drops down on the throat. Canyon handcuffed to the turnbuckle there. Encouraging the leader on. And, you know, I've often thought if Raven loses here, what in the world would the flock want its freedom? It seems to me that it doesn't want its freedom, but you never know. Raven.
They don't know what freedom is. They wouldn't enjoy freedom. They have to be told what to do.
Elbow drop, found its mark.
They're followers, they're losers.
Yeah, to quote the living legend Larry Zbyszko, they are robotized sheep. And
some of them wrestle not too bad.
1, 2. Trying to pull the wool over our eyes, aren't you? Not going to happen. Only got a 2 count. In. Over.
Not yet. Oh. Real close.
Oh, and Raven comes back with a clothesline of his own. That takes Saturn off of his feet. Seesaw battle. Control, the advantage has just gone back and forth between these two wrestlers, especially thanks to the interference of Lodi.
Saturn's just taking his time.
Both men are. And I think it's a tribute to not only the other man's ability, but the pace they set in this match. Sleeper, hold on! Trying to get out. A lot of times, Brain, you know this, the harder you fight, the worse it is. The worse it is on you. And he was fighting very, very frantically at first, but now he just converts it to a jawbreaker, and it was a good one at that.
A real good one, because you see, there's Raven laying down right next to him. Saturn real slow getting up.
And even slower is Raven making an attempt at a cover. Finally, gets two and shoulder up.
A 2 count only, and once again, to the attack, Sam married him over. And how many landed on his feet that time? Look at this, he won't stay down. Backslide, no sir.
Still a lot of fight in that dog, believe me.
You're not kidding. Raven, and you can see going.
He's hurt.
A little too early to celebrate.
Did you ever notice he had a tongue pierce? Did you notice that? Yeah. What a weird guy. A Russian leg sweep. And covers it. Now presses the arms down, but still cannot keep him down.
That's how kids used to fight in the schoolyard. Remember that?
2 count. Brings him down again. 2, no sir. Will take a lot more than that. Oh my, to keep him down.
Not much.
Well, it is Raven's rules, right?
Yeah, turnabout fair play.
You're not kidding. Low blows work. And of course, if you're Raven, you probably love it.
More pain, the better. This man wants to suffer, loves to suffer. Doesn't like life easy. And look at that man there. Look at that animal, that dog pulling himself up.
Oh, Saturn left himself wide open in the corner, and Raven attacks. Looked like Saturn may have hurt his knee that point.
Here we go, the chair's brought in.
And again, keep in mind, Raven's rules, anything goes.
The referee is arguing now with the other 2 men, and finally, Mickey J walks into your picture. The chair, I see this, and I think of Scotty Riggs. Glancing blow with the chair that time, a drop toe hold.
Look at Raven, he's really enjoying his weekend.
Well, Saturn has seen that drop toe hold into the steel chair before. Tried to get his hands up at the last second to block the blow, but still took the brunt of the steel. Wait a minute, flock members coming to ringside with the table.
That's Horace, sick boy with the table. There's Riggs as well, and I believe we saw, you on the other side there, you see Kidman. So the entire flock's out. Like we said, they do not want to leave Raven, I don't think.
Mickey J does not know what's going on behind him.
Kidman, drop kick, Raven to the top.
He nails.
And they're chasing Kidman. They're chasing Kidman to the stands. Other members of the flock are.
Kidman has double-crossed the flock.
Watch out, Death Valley Driver! Death Valley Driver!
Cover him, cover him.
He did.
Cover him, turn around,
Turn
Mickey
around.
J. Turn around, count.
1, 2, no!
Oh, that distraction by Lodi enabled Raven to kick out.
And he needed just that split second to do it.
My goodness.
What a match.
Kidman's incredible antics that time. That turnabout by Kidman got all the other members of the flock running out. With the exception of Lodi, who stayed at home there, with Canyon, who couldn't go anywhere.
He's kind of incarcerated.
Boy, did that blow you away or what, Mike?
Wow, shock.
I thought he had him.
I thought it was going to be the 7-year itch off the top, but it was a Mr. Dropkick that caught Raven. This match keeps going on, and what a match it is.
And Raven is hurt.
Ducking, Saturn picks him up. One of the pin to move.
T-bone suplex, running clothesline, belly to belly, overhead released.
And look at the Mad Dog come out in this man. Look at him right now. He's ready to chew, scratch, bite, and bury Raven.
To the attack again. Side of the head. Scoop slam to go. He's up. Oh yeah! Guillotine leg drop. 1, 2, and he couldn't keep him down. Even using that middle rub as a springboard, couldn't hold him down.
Raven's showing me something here.
Yes,
he is tough.
1, 2, and he...
Not
that
yet.
was a form of a Hoovy driver right there is what that was.
Guess we'll have to name that one the Saturn driver.
Mickey J warning of the hair, but after what's gone on here, hair is an afterthought. Inside cradle by Raven. 1, 2, couldn't keep him down. Rings of Saturn!
No place to go, no place to go.
We haven't seen that in a long time!
It's been months!
And he can't make it to the ropes. And
Nope.
Canyon's handcuffed.
And there's Lodi. Lodi grabbing at Saturn.
Wow, that's the only thing that saved Raven.
That's the only thing. It stopped the rings of Saturn. He's calling Lodi in the ring. Welcome to the ring, Lodi.
Have a seat.
Hopefully that will stop that interference for a little while. Oh. Mickey J arguing with Canyon.
Mickey J was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And Canyon
He's going through his pockets.
He's going to the pockets. He's going to the pockets. He's going to unlock himself. So Canyon unlocked. Both combatants are down. Lodi still straddling the top. Canyon the only man on his feet. The flatliner. He put a flatliner on him and he rolls Raven on top of him. Oh, I fear he won't get up from this.
And we're talking about his career taking so many steps backward by having to join the flock and be subservient to Raven.
As he tries to awaken the referee.
It's over.
1, 2. No!
He got the shoulder up!
He's still alive. He's still got it in him.
The fans erupt with the right shoulder shot up in the air.
Canyon going nuts on the floor. Having a good time, Raven.
Major uppercut.
It's Raven's rules, it's legal.
Right now, it's Saturn's rules. Pick up Lodi. Oh, my
Death Valley driver through the table.
holy smokes.
Well, now he's gotten rid of all members of the flock. Raven is yours for the picking now. Go in there and get him.
1 man left. Raven catches him. Oh, my. Even flow.
That's it.
Even flow. 1, 2. Didn't beat him. Didn't beat him. Didn't beat him, and neither can Raven.
Who's kicked out of the even flow?
Incredible. Saturn. He's going to pick him up. Death Valley driver. DVD. It's over.
What a victory. What a match.
Flock, you may go home. You have been set free. But as Saturn said earlier, it's now not for the flock, it's for me. It's to set myself free. And he proved it tonight. The remnants of a man who would not stay down. A man who rose above everything, Mike.
That's poetic justice right there. Lodi laid out through the table. It originally began about freedom for the flock, but it's all about freedom for that man, Saturn.
So we're going to have Perry Saturn come out, and I'm sure he's going to have the dress on again. As part of that loss that he suffered, it sold out, and that stipulation His opponent's Norman Smiley, who's turned a lot of heads, made a lot of headway in our sport.
Norman Smiley.
How was that again?
Norman Smiley.
Did you get that, Tony?
Norman Smiley will come out here to face Perry Saturn, and as he comes out here on Monday Nitro, we do understand, we saw the Nitro girls. Diamond Dallas Page is not here tonight. Because of it, we understand that security has been posted outside of the Nitro girls locker room. Let's listen in. All right, no need to listen in, just our security officers going over with the local security here about, and I think it's pretty apparent when he was gesturing towards the arms there that he's talking about Scott Steiner.
Notifying security to watch out for Big Papa Pump. I mean, come on, Scott Steiner. You know that the Nitro girls locker room is off limits. You're not new around here. That goes without saying.
Big Papa Pump will go through that security they got watching the door like a flamethrower through a pound of butter.
Well, nonetheless.
Wait a minute. Hey, sweetheart.
Smiley!
Bad thing about
You're
this
not
thing.
getting
What's that,
jiggy
Brian?
with me!
The way I understand it, the longer you wear a dress, the more he's going to start liking it. And once again, if you notice, he's braless.
Many of those remarks do not need a comment from either me nor Mike today. But there he is, Perry Saturn, dress it all, to face Norman Smiley in this next matchup here. What do you mean,
Norman Smiley.
Yes, you got it right, Mike.
Thank you. Anything for accuracy.
That's you. That's you, Mike.
Ditto, ditto.
You want me to just step out here to let the Liars Club keep on going?
Without our president, Tony?
Perry Saturn holds on to Smiley, into the ropes he goes. Runs right over him. You know, put a dress on him all you want. Make fun of him like you like to do, Brain. You can't deny the ability of one Perry Saturn.
Toughest man I've ever seen in a dress.
Oh, stop it. Grinding in the side headlock still to come. We're going to see Goldberg and Scott Norton.
Whoa!
Great double underhook that time by Perry Saturn, and an overhead release suplex. You can see that Norman Smiley took that one on the back of the head as he came crashing to the mat.
Please.
The man came to us and asked us to pronounce his name correctly.
Oh, we're in, never mind. Side headlock applied here by Perry Saturn. Johnny Boone, the referee. Smiley trying to pick him up that time.
Oh.
Belly to back suplex and nicely done. Say his name as you will, you can't deny that Norman Smiley
He's got it.
is a fine technical wrestler, well schooled in submission wrestling.
And that's the interesting part of this matchup. Both of these men known for their submission backgrounds.
Oh.
Saturn telegraphing the back body drop. That was the opening that Norman needed. Is it big wiggle time?
I think he's winding it up.
Oh, not yet. He's teasing us tonight.
You two guys are into this big wiggle by Norman Smiley.
I like this
Isn't
guy.
everybody?
There goes Perry Saturn with a double axe handle blow.
Only a matter of time, Tony, until you're doing the big wiggle.
Yep, you'll be jumping on the bandwagon anytime now, Tony.
Yep.
Ducking low now. Leapfrog, nicely done by Saturn. Telegraphed it to Norman Smiley. Saturn is power slammed by Smiley out of the left side ropes. Here's a cover. Only a 2 count that time, but now rear chin lock applied.
Almost as if that dress is a hindrance
If I was
to Perry Saturn in this
If
match.
I was with WCW on the board that made decisions, I'd put him on those big barn dance dresses.
Back live on Monday Nitro, the sleeper hold is on by Perry Saturn here. And he's got Smiley in trouble, but oh boy. Norman Smiley with a great counter move. And a belly to back. Out of that sleeper hold by Perry Saturn.
That was his last-ditch effort.
I can see his panties.
That's his trunks, you lame brain.
When you wear a dress there.
There, okay, whatever. Trying to get over there is Saturn, but it's Norman Smiley, the first man up. Into the corner he goes. Boy, Norman knows how to attack it, doesn't he, Mike? Look at
Knows
that.
every little trick in the book, every shortcut, doesn't he?
Well, he's been all over the world. He's wrestled in almost every country. Oh, I like that.
That shows a lot of power.
The Smiley slam. Now I think he may start wiggling.
Well, the fans want to see it. You can hear them responding when Norman looks around here. A double underhook. Picks him up. Boy, showing a lot of power. Oh, boy. Put him down. 1, 2. I tell you, that would have been an upset, guys. A win right there. I know Norman is...
He's been on a roll as of late, Tony.
He has been on a roll, but Perry Saturn 1, 2, and Saturn rolled him up.
He almost got rolled up right there. Ow!
Left-handed Larry at that time put Saturn down. As the referee checks in. Fans, as you know, we're getting close to the month of February. It's only a week away now, and that means Super Brawl number 9 to the corner. A very determined Ric Flair, 1, 2, who in the front office has been making the right moves. He will try to make the right moves in the ring, as he will face Hollywood Hogan for the world title. Putting himself in that world title bout, though, I tell you, Brian, it was as much of act of passion, determination, of focus of Ric Flair that it was an act of just trying to get the world title back.
You know, that was the last man I managed, Ric Flair. And I knew Ric Flair before he got in this sport when he was training in Minnesota. And I know the determination in this man. And don't think he won that title 13 times just because he was that good or that lucky. A lot of both took over there. You don't beat somebody 13 times. Sometimes luck prevails. And I just have that funny feeling. You know when you got it in your stomach, you got the butterflies? I got that feeling that Flair is going to beat Hogan and become heavyweight champion of the world for the 14th time. Beating Hogan and taking the title will destroy the man.
Smiley now. Starts to rev up the engines here. Could be big wiggle time.
Yes!
There it is.
We're going to Wiggle City.
We're going to Wiggle City.
I know how you feel, Tony.
Okay,
Me too.
here we go. Sending Saturn into the rope. Back. Oh! Great elevation on the back body drop that time. Here's a cover. No share, only got a 2 count.
Last time I saw a woman fly through the air that high, it was the end of the month sale at Lucky Pierre's.
Stop it. Now Smiley. Picking him up. Look at this.
Another
Spike
show
him.
of strength here.
Got him!
Great vertical suplex that time. As a matter of fact, textbook vertical suplex. Cover 1, 2, no, a 2 count. And Saturn escape. This is a great contest.
Norman's getting a little frustrated here.
Well, you would be too. Saturn.
Look, his eyebrows hanging off.
No, that's a, forget it. Had his forehead taped from an earlier injury.
This is just about embarrassment and humiliation to Perry Saturn.
The Mad Dog's gonna come out in him right now.
That lit a fire under Saturn. You're right, Brain.
Redder than that red dress.
That's a wake-up call for Perry Saturn is what that was.
Take it to him, Perry.
Perry Saturn has rebounded from that. One big wiggle too many, maybe.
With the wrong guy. In the wrong dress.
On the wrong night.
Oh!
He tried to cover up that time, but that kick went right through that hand.
Maybe he get a job next year kicking for the Vikings.
Into the side of the head. Into the corner. Perry Saturn. What a comeback this has been.
You know, it's almost as if he's using that dress as an incentive. He's trying to turn this negative into a positive.
He's doing a good job of it if that's the case.
Oh.
And he drives the knee down along the head of Norman Smiley.
He's doing the big wiggle.
I told you that was going to catch on, Tony.
So is the DVD going to catch on to the head of Nurman Smiley is out.
Wait till he goes home and tells everybody a man in a dress beat me up in Dallas.
He doesn't have to tell everybody. Everybody saw it. Millions of fans around the world saw it live on Monday Nitro.
The last 2 times the European title, oh, here we go, has been contested on pay-per-view here in the WWF. The champion is left beltless. Let's see if that trend continues here tonight. And right now it's Saturn and Malenko assaulting Eddie Guerrero. But remember, the first man to score a pinfall or submission will win this matchup.
Well, I think I see that Guerrero and
Oh man, Malenko coming
Saturn and Malenko are taking out their frustrations on poor Latino Heat there. Look at this! Ah, come on!
Well, we'll see how genuine that handshake is as this match progresses. Remember,
China, did you see that?
China looking on,
Mamacita!
somewhat concerned, and she should be here. This is almost like a handicap match.
I want to tell you something. I'm getting a bad vibe about this. These guys are certainly, oh, they're certainly, oh, there it is, JR. Now we're seeing their true colors.
Near fall. And now Malenko and Saturn hammering away.
I knew that wouldn't last long.
These men know each other very, very well. They have traveled the roads together. They have competed around the world together, quite frankly.
And they came to the WWF together as a group, the Radicals did, but they accomplished what they set out to do. They got themselves a big fat contract. Boom. They got themselves security here in the WWF, so now it's every man for himself.
Great display of strength there by Saturn. And Saturn,
oh, look at this.
take Guerrero over.
Oh, he got them both.
Guerrero got 4 and 1 there. And look at Guerrero now, the European champion.
4, oh, I get it. 4 and 1.
Pace quickens here. Saturn down, and Guerrero with that explosive offense that he can generate is scintillating.
Look at that.
Nice Hurricane Rana.
Woo, scary.
On that Greco-Roman knuckle lock on the top.
You know, I'll just be eternally grateful to the Radicals for getting rid of, what's his name? Mick Foley, your buddy?
Another Hurricane Rana. That was Triple H that got rid of Mick Foley, King.
Yeah, but they turned on him.
That they did. With friends like them, who needs enemies, right?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, look at this. Oh, man.
Nice block by Malenko. With a cover. Saturn makes sure the 3 doesn't go down.
Wow, what a shot from Saturn.
These triple threat rules do not favor the champion because whomever loses a fall by pin or submission.
All right, the champion can lose without losing.
We saw that at WrestleMania. Kurt Angle lost 2 titles without being involved in a decision.
That's still under protest.
Nice tornado DDT. A lot of momentum there by Eddie Guerrero. And Guerrero making going for the cover. And Malenko, you can see that one coming. Malenko out of the corner of his eye saw Guerrero going for the cover.
Mamacita.
Mamacita looks very bodacious tonight, to say the very least.
JR, I happened to pick up one of those Talk magazines with Mamacita's picture in it. Woohoo! Talk about Latino Heat.
Could be on. Guerrero barely got his right shoulder off the canvas.
No.
Those photos are hot.
Woo.
And a great article on China in the current Talk magazine.
Hey, look out.
Malenko talk a little trash to Eddie Guerrero. He's telling him how he's going to beat him for the European title. That means Malenko will be a double champion. He's the reigning light heavyweight champion. Oh, modified sunset flip. And
Yeah, look at
Malenko
this.
going for the Texas Cloverleaf. The submission move here. Well,
Yeah,
he's trying to turn Guerrero over.
Yeah, but look at Perry Saturn just waiting in the wings. Oh, here he
But
comes.
Malenko was thinking the same thing you were, King.
It's tough to win one of these matches by submission because you always got one other guy that's going to be out there to try to break up any submission hole.
It's almost as if 2 men should try to incapacitate one and then sell it between themselves. Eliminate somebody.
That's good strategy, JR.
But nobody trusts each other enough to do that.
Right.
Irish whip, Malenko finding the turnbuckles that time. And This don't look good for Malenko.
No, it doesn't.
And his heirs. Guerrero hooking up Malenko. What's going to happen here?
Look at Saturn.
Saturn with a shot, and now Saturn has Guerrero up on his shoulder.
This don't look good for Latino Heat. Oh, got them both.
Nice overhead suplex by Perry Saturn. Malenko landed rather gingerly on that top turnbuckle when Guerrero hit the top rope. Malenko trying to fight out of this attempted suplex and does so. That's a wicked bump there by Saturn. No one has really gained any sort of clear-cut advantage thus far. And Guerrero, boy, talking about high risk.
These guys are also evenly matched.
Look at this.
What is this?
What a gut buster right off the top rope.
That did it.
Man, that'll mangle your insides.
That'll cool off your Latino Heat.
And now, Malenko on the outside. Great opportunity here for Perry Saturn to get to the throne room.
Throne room?
European goal. Saturn, he's a frog splash. One of Guerrero's favorite moves. That should be all, and Malenko barely able to get back in the ring and interrupt the count. Double A pickup, and now look at Saturn. Look at Saturn's got the Texas Cloverleaf on Malenko.
Yeah, but look who's there.
That's Malenko's hole. Guerrero, what a brain buster.
Wow.
Shades of the late Dick Murdoch with that brain buster. There's the cover. Well, Saturn's, his brains have got to have been rattled. And look at the submission move.
Speaking of rattled brains.
Malenko left his face exposed there.
Watch Malenko on this. Watch this move. Watch the Guerrero. Right across the knee of Malenko. Now watch Saturn. You know, you got to hand it to Malenko. Or not Malenko. I got to hand it to Latino Heat. I mean, he is resilient.
Guerrero fighting for Mamacita and for the European title here. And Saturn went straight south on that one, leaving Malenko and Guerrero in the ring. The light heavyweight champion, Malenko, the European champion, Eddie Guerrero. Textbook suplex by Dean Malenko, second generation star.
Do something, Mamacita.
His father, late Professor Boris Malenko. Wow, what a move there by Dean, and Malenko. Again, seeing Malenko, great veteran. He's not going to get himself double teamed unless he can fight out of it, and that's what Malenko's done thus far.
Oh, man. Oh, these guys got the same idea.
Suplex. A triple suplex, or I guess a double suplex.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
And Trina she just nailed Saturn those roses, and that ain't 1-800 Florist, I'm telling you.
Those must be some old flowers. They're like stiff.
Well, Saturn got his eyes crossed there.
He did. I think they were, huh? Look at.
Eddie Guerrero trying to sunset flip the outside back in. And Mamacita.
Hey, you can't take the flowers.
I think he hit his head on those flowers.
The flowers.
1, 2, 3. And Guerrero retains the title.
And still European champion, Eddie Guerrero.
Well, look inside them, just as we suspected. That lead pipe is the reason that Eddie Guerrero has retained the European title.
You know, it's funny with the Divas, you know, Trish is one of my favorites, very sexy this past week. So what got into her? I mean, I'm almost afraid of her now.
Well, sometimes, like any good woman, I guess, they're going to snap. They're going to snap, and I think that Trish has had enough as far as Jazz is concerned. Jazz has almost played the role of the bully, so to speak, in the past few weeks.
And you expect that from Jazz.
Well, and we saw on SmackDown, Lita has kind of had enough as well, and she wants that World Wrestling Federation women's title back as well. As Perry Saturn gets set to go one-on-one against a very impressive youngster, Paul London. If you've never seen him before, I think you're going to be very, very impressed. Nice drop kick. Perry Saturn is going to have his hands full here on Jack.
Look at this.
We mentioned the huge weakest link tomorrow night, of course, Raw live this Monday from Detroit. Then Tuesday, WWF WrestleMania flashbacks, the greatest hits, 9/8 Central, also on the new TNN. And then, as we just mentioned,
what's your favorite flashback moment you think from?
Well, there's so many. I mean, obviously, you know, you always big elbow, Paul London walking straight into that one, and now. Oh, nice move by Perry Saturn. You obviously go back to WrestleMania 1. It's one of the ones you remember the most. And when you think about some of the greatest WrestleMania moments, certainly Hollywood Hulk Hogan is a part of a lot of those.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's true.
As well as The Rock is a part of those from the most recent ones. So you can go back over the last 17 years, and you're probably going to talk about Hollywood Hulk Hogan or The Rock in some vein in that. Oh, my goodness, Perry Saturn with the headbutt to the midsection of Paul London.
It's almost simple mathematics. The past, you got Hollywood Hulk Hogan. The present, you got The Rock. You put those two together, you equal, of course, WrestleMania 18, and it's going to be just about the biggest one ever.
You know what I like to compare it to this matchup? You know, a lot of people talked about Michael Jordan coming back this year in the NBA and how he wouldn't be as good. Wait a second. Here's a cover by Perry Saturn, but he's been good in a different way. He's been great in a different way. So you've got the Michael Jordan of old.
And Kobe Bryant, maybe.
Which, The Rock is, I mean, very athletic and can really move around very quickly. Then you have Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the veteran. Although maybe not as athletically gifted as he used to be, still a wily veteran that can be great in his own way. Oh, wow, what a belly-to-belly by Perry Saturn.
That did not look like it was very safe. A little precarious, I think you call it.
It's going to be a match for the ages when The Rock goes one-on-one with Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I still believe, despite Thursday night on SmackDown, The Rock saying he was ready to go, I don't know if he is physically even close to 100%.
But you know, there's a lot of drive inside the Rock's heart. Of course, I switch those names around because The Rock has so much heart. It almost doesn't matter. I hope.
Well, The Rock is very resilient. The Rock, like you said, has a big heart, as does Stone Cold Steve Austin. These two men do not quit, as Perry Saturn right now is having his way with young Paul London. We'll find out live this Monday night, I think, on Raw, that handicap match when all three members, Hogan, Hall, and Nash, go head-to-head in that handicap match against The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Now, Coach, we see the outer crust. We see the face of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, wait a second. Here's a sunset flip by Paul London and a kick out by Perry Saturn.
And we even see in their eyes there's no fear in these two huge superstars. However, you never know what's going on psychologically between The Rock and, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Chris, you can have no fear. At this point, when you're heading to the biggest show of the year, whether you're The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the NWO, Triple H or Y2J, which we'll talk about in a little bit, they have one of the biggest matches of all time as well with the undisputed World Wrestling Federation Championship on the line. You can have no fear. It has to be nothing but confidence. All right, so wait a second. You wait, because Perry Saturn off the top with a huge elbow.
That hurt my neck.
And you can see Paul London, and look at the kisser on Perry Saturn. And you have to wonder how much. Well, I don't really want to. Wait a second. Here's a cover. This has got to be enough, too. Oh, wait a second. Paul London is able to kick out. Perry Saturn cannot believe that he didn't get the 3 count, and he's taking it out on referee Jack Doan.
Yeah, but, you know, Perry Saturn loves delivering pain. You can see that in his face and his eyes. You were talking about fear. Now, you're telling me that Y2J doesn't need at least a little bit fear? His new business partner, Stephanie McMahon? You're telling me there's no fear in there whatsoever?
Oh, exactly. Exactly. Well, Perry Saturn going to the well one too many times. He's caught off the top rope. Folks, at the conclusion of this match, we're going to take a look back at the season premiere of Tough Enough 2. What a night it was on Thursday right after SmackDown. But right now, Perry Saturn, all he can handle, and then some, a quick 2 count. And Perry Saturn, though, catches Paul London. Oh, wait a second. Nice head scissors. And right now, I told you, this youngster is very, very impressive. And he certainly is doing just that here on Jax.
Gee, this kid he's incredible. Looks like the courtship of Eddie's father kid, doesn't he? Like all grown up.
You talk about an incredible match. What about Fan Appreciation Night on Monday night? Kurt Angle in that steel cage match with Triple H. Oh, wait a second. Up that middle rope. What a huge move. This will be a huge upset. A near pinfall on Perry Saturn.
Now, see, Coach, that could be a little insight to WrestleMania as well. Kurt Angle, who did Kurt Angle have in his little corner? He had the itchy, albeit itchy bitchy, I guess. Stephanie McMahon. And, of course, who won? Kurt Angle.
Well, Stephanie seems to always get her way, except when you want to deliver her Corvette to SmackDown. I don't think she got very far. Wait a second. The shooting star press. And Perry Perry Saturn was able to roll out of the way, and Paul London just had the wind knocked out of him. Oh, wait a second. Now Perry Saturn getting very, very physical with this youngster, and I think maybe Paul London may have gone to the well one too many times.
These suplexes are just dangerous,
You,
but well,
you have
apparently
to stay somewhat conservative when you're going against a superstar with the ability of Perry Saturn, the Death Valley driver, and forget about it.
Look at that. London just hanging out there waiting.
I think Perry Saturn actually a little bit ticked off that he had to, spend so much energy.